Hello, everybody. This is Antinatalist, and had a very interesting confrontation today, and it was totally unexpected. So, like, here is the timeline. Like around let me think. About 8:30, I went to Lowe's and took my two dogs for socialization. One dog is an older Staffordshire Terrier, and the other one is a 6-month old Chihuahua. And so I had a cart, walking around the store, and there was hardly any customers like on a Friday night because most people are going out to eat and whatnot. And so my older dog really loved going out and walking in the store, and everybody loved her, and they reached down to pet her. And it was going really smooth, and I stopped and looked at some lawn furniture, and I asked a sales clerk about the price of one of the items, and he looked it up, clicked on his cell phone and clicked the UPC or whatever it was, and the code, and he gave me a price, at $600 and something. And then, I'm very, very empathic, and like I can feel people staring at me, and I've had that many occasions in my life. I can feel if people are looking in my direction, and I just felt this woman looking at me, and she was actually like almost a complete turn away. And so I looked over, and she just kind of had a really, she was far away from me, actually. There was no way that she could even have heard what I was asking the man about, the sales clerk. And she just kind of had this dirty look from a distance now. I mean, maybe as much as 40 feet away. And I just thought, well, I just kind of shook it off, right? And she seemed to like summon her husband as if they knew me. I've never seen them. In fact, I don't congregate with like a lot of people. I don't go to church. Didn't go to schools around here. Keep to a very small circle, and so I just kind of blew it off, whatever. And so we spent about 30 minutes or more in the store with my dogs, and everybody loved them, and everybody wanted to come and talk to my dogs. And then I went across the street to like a restaurant, and not soon after I sat down, I would say maybe 3 minutes after I sat down, a woman, and I did not connect her being at Lowe's because I didn't really process, the visual connection of what she looked like. I just noticed to me, she was a stranger in a store, and she seemed to be looking at me, but, I just kind of shrugged it off. She came up to me in a very aggressive manner, and I was sitting at one of the bar stools, but there was almost nobody in the restaurant. Some people in the booth, but like it was getting, I guess it was 9:15 by the time I went to the store. And so I was pretty much at the bar area myself, and I had ordered some food, and she came up to me and she says, "Are you going to be long? Because your dog is screaming in the car." And I said, So my little puppy was with the older dog, and they are kissing cousins. They love each other. In fact, the puppy likes to jump and perch on the Staffordshire's back. And she's very tolerant. She acts like a mother hen when the Chihuahua does this. And so this woman is, okay, it's dark outside. My windows are rolled down. And I don't know what this lady's complaining about. She just seems like over emotional about something. And she said, she says, well, I'm going to call the police. And I said, go ahead. And so then I thought, I thought, well, my windows are rolled down, it's, a few inches. And, this lady, she might even hurt my dogs. And so, I went to the front of the restaurant, and the lady was there just talking to everybody, like, just, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't even hear it. It was just like, clutter in the, in the foyer. And I came up to her, and she said, you are a very mean person. Your dog is in the car, and the puppy is screaming. And I said, so what? And she says, well, I have a disabled child. And, I would never leave him, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what that has to do with me. And so I went out to look at my dogs to make sure that, she wasn't harming them in any way, or she hadn't done anything, crazy. So I went out there, and my dogs were, calm. And the lady said, I taped your dogs. And I said, that's fine. And I went out there, and my dogs were as content as they could possibly be. They were snuggling in the passenger seat. So I am of the belief that she I don't know what she did, stir up my dogs. Maybe she was hysterical. Maybe she was, screaming and working my dogs up. But, the parking lot has, security, the security system facing, the parked cars. But anyway, so in the parking lot, she's carrying on, and then she summons her husband, and, they were driving a Honda Pilot, plates, Pennsylvania plates, KYS 1108. So her husband, she summoned her husband to get out of the car. And so, I'm taking pictures, to document the situation. And I think she's filming me. I don't know what she's doing. And he comes out of the car, and he is about 6'3", give or take. And he comes out of the car, and so the wife goes, take her camera from her. And I said, if you dare touch me, you will have assault charges. And he goes, I'm not going to take her phone, camera, whatever. And he crossed his hands the way somebody would if they felt threatened. Interesting, huh? And out of the clear blue, the man goes, do you know what it's like to have a severely disabled son? And now I'm making a connection, but I still don't know where all this, this hate came from. So I vaguely remember a young man, anywhere from 18 to 23. And all I saw was that he was in front of me, but I didn't see his face. He walked past me, and, I heard a bunch of weird noises, grunts and weird noises. But, I didn't think much of it. It's allergy season. And I'm like making those noises myself. And so then the father goes, "Do you know what it's like to have a severely disabled son?" And I said, "Well, you're the one that brought his suffering on. You're responsible for his suffering." Now, let me tell you, I was actually on the phone with somebody. I was FaceTiming somebody. So they were watching this entire scenario. And it wasn't planned. Like, I had no idea this man would like come up to me out of the blue. And so then I started making a connection. This man who was grunting, whatever, in the store must have been their son. And I was parked in the front of the restaurant. And my car is plastered with Antinatalist bumper stickers. You can't miss it. So this couple, especially the mom, who was, a very, very overreactive, natalist breeder, she probably saw my bumper stickers, and she probably compared my life to her life. I mean, I have the freedom to, take dogs out on a leisurely stroll in a home, a do-it-yourself store. And we would be about the same age. However, it's kind of hard to tell because I look about 10 or more years younger than people my age. So I'm 60, and I mean, I don't know how old they are, but they were at least 51. So we were like in the same ballpark, age group. They were just white couple, just pretty much typical of this area. And so my friend on the phone heard the men say, "Do you know what it's like, to have, a severely disabled son?" And my friend was like, talking back to him, and I don't know what he was saying. Maybe something like, you brought it on yourself. I mean, it's self-inflicted, that kind of thing. And I don't know why this argument even started, because she was triggered by my bumper stickers, obviously, and not a dog screaming in the car. And screaming is not a word that you apply to dogs. It's more like a whimper, more like a puppy, who's being socialized. And, maybe his first time in the car without his mommy. And, him not knowing where I'm going or whatever. And this is all a process when you socialize dogs. They have to be able to be alone without you, whether it's in your house or whether it's in your car. They have to be content. And that's part of a learning process. Scream they may, scream they will, whimper they will. And so, for the dad to have, asked me, "Do you know what it's like to have a severely..." Well, I am the most empathetic person around, and I don't know firsthand what it is like to have a disabled child, but, I prevented that. He's the one that took the risk with his own flesh and blood. He is guilty of the sin of bringing someone into harm. And the boy, I just vaguely remember the boy like walking past me, and he was capable of walking. I mean, he didn't need a wheelchair. He didn't need any kind of assistance. I don't know about his cognitive ability, and it's probably very, very low. What I did notice, in the back seat of their Honda Pilot, their white Honda Pilot, was that facing, the rear back seats, there was a TV, and the TV was playing cartoons. Now, a person my age, usually some of them have, grandchildren by this time. So a lot of people my age, have grandchildren. And of course, I don't, because I'm child free. I think what triggered this woman, she saw me get out of a nice car, a way nicer car, a sedan, if you will. Well, a Jaguar, okay. I'll go ahead and say it, a Jaguar. And, I had freedom to leave dogs in the car. And she cannot leave her son alone because he's either a threat to himself or a threat to others, or is just totally incapable of being alone without doing some kind of harm. Meanwhile, my dogs are very, very well behaved. They're sweet, they're patient, they're well socialized, housebroken, everything, you name it. And she saw me with the freedom to do things that she can never dream of. And she saw Antinatalist bumper stickers plastered all over my car, like in your face. Bumper stickers like, it takes brains to use a condom, but, just a sex act to create a child or something of that nature. I don't know. I've just got so many stickers on there. And I've actually done videos of the bumper stickers on my cars. So, yeah, she just slung so much hate. And she just came off so aggressively, just out of the clear blue. And, it's possible that she could have gotten wind of my channel. I doubt it. It's possible that she, could have known my stance from holding signs in and around the community. It's just possible. I'm just kind of making, inferences here, But for somebody to approach a complete stranger, a stranger who's minding her own business and who's doing nothing wrong and nothing illegal and nothing immoral and nothing, dangerous, to just come up and assault that person. And then for her husband to get out of his car. Oh, and let me tell you what else they did. So I was taking pictures of their car, and the father kept backing up and getting so close to me. And I mean, it was scary. And there's a video cameras facing the parking lot. And if she dared start anything, I would file charges, because they were the aggressors. And I just don't know how it connects, for me to leave dogs in the car with the windows rolled down at night. I don't know what her connection with that is to the fact that she has a disabled son. That's not my problem. Her disabled son is the result of her sex act. And, hey, karma bites you back. When you've got kids, karma runs deep. I don't even believe in karma. No, I don't believe in karma, because look at all the kids in the cancer ward at Children's Hospital. They didn't deserve that. But when you do have kids, yeah, you do reap what you sow. So anyway, kind of bizarre. Kind of bizarre that, somebody would just come up and just accost somebody, like, as soon as they get into a restaurant and, like, order something, and dog's screaming. That's what she said. Your dog's screaming. I went out there and really I had to check on things. I'm like, what is she talking about? I've never even heard this. And if my dogs are screaming, was somebody hurting them? I mean, was she hurting them, or was she taunting them? Was she teasing them? They were as calm and collected as they possibly could be. My sweet two dogs. Very, very compatible. Very sweet dogs. And, I just got the feeling that she wasn't even a dog person. I thought that she was just trying to, like, make trouble. I don't think she had any empathy or any concern about the dogs. I just think she was a troublemaker. And yeah, she even asked the people at the restaurant to call the police, and they said that it wasn't their responsibility. I mean, they're not, they're restaurateurs. They're not, they're not the parking lot police. And I think that really pissed her off. But that also shows how much of a coward she really was, because if she really thought that these dogs were in a harmful position or in a dangerous position, then she should have called the police, or she should have stood there and monitored them, and until the police came. But no, she wanted somebody else to do the dirty work. That's a coward. And the Antinatalist is not a coward. I do my own dirty work. And I fight my own battles. I don't tell somebody else to fight them for me. I really wish that this woman with the white Honda Pilot PA plates KYS 1108 is watching. I would love for her to watch this video. God, what a coward you are. I wonder how many kids you did have. I wonder if that was the only kid that you had and realized you should quit while you're ahead. Get it? She's utterly responsible for the genes that she put forth in this world. She's responsible for the child, no matter if it had a brain injury somehow. She's responsible for nature and nurture of her child or her children. I am not responsible for her children. I don't owe her anything. I feel bad for the son, because I mean, from the vague moment that I saw him passing me, he was a thin boy. That's all I knew. And like, I mean, the noises didn't really, they didn't really trigger much when I first heard them. But now that she's saying he's severely disabled, now I connect the dots in that those, guttural noises were coming from him. And it was startling. I mean, it was enough for me to, like, me and the sales clerk just kind of, we just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of startled us. But yeah, I didn't see him. All I knew was that he was thin and a young man. You natalist, nobody owes you anything. I'm sure your son is on, some kind of assistance, some kind of benefit. And whenever you guys pass on your son, is going to be, just a victim of chance in the world. Just totally victim of, opportunistic people or, some institution. But you are guilty when you have biological offspring. Nobody owes you, any sympathy or any empathy. My empathy goes with the son. I'm on the side of the children, the teenagers, the young adults. As long as they're child-free. I am not on the side of biological parents. So, any future natalists who try to, extract, some kind of sympathy from me, like they've got it really hard. What the fuck? You did it. You did it to yourself. That's self-inflicted, pal. Damn. It's just like you went skydiving and, your parachute didn't, release itself and protect you. You took a chance. You took a risk. Breeding is risky. You're gambling. You're gambling with another person's life who did not give consent. You get it? Thanks for watching this far.